All right, hello everybody. Welcome to your very favorite Bronze Age comic book podcast, Flea Market Fantasy. I'm your co-host, Mike L, and as always, I'm joined by
Michael Dell of the LCS Hockey Radio Show.
That's right, and I thought we were in the holiday season, but judging by this week's pick, I guess no one cares, but okay.
Yes, you're exactly right. I do not care. So this week, we're going to go, we have a guest, I should say. And I believe he's making his fourth appearance, maybe, on the show.
Woo!
It's our old buddy Kevin Jank. Jank, are you there?
Yeah.
Look,
I
there he
am.
is.
And
There he
I
is.
disagree with that statement. This, I think, was a holiday book. I'm pretty sure the Morlock Massacre was all based on a Black Friday sale gone awry. Marauders
Yes.
had to have those PS5s.
Today we'll be doing X Factor 10 from 1986. As
Right.
Jank mentioned, it's right around the beginning of the Mutant Massacre. I guess X-Men 210 started it officially.
Yeah,
I think. I'll have to check
I
my
think
notes.
so. 'Cause this didn't really do a good job of setting it up, so I'm assuming X-Men did.
Yeah,
been a while,
Uncanny
but-
X-Men 210 is when it started. But we'll get into that in a minute. So, Jank, last time you were on, Mike L tricked you into coming on to do a Superman episode. And I apologize for that again. So, this time I wanted to give you the choice, or at least pick something that you liked. And we both kind of settled on X Factor. And what is your history with X Factor?
I've always been a fan of X Factor. Obviously, we talked about my love for Peter David on the show before, so really it's the Peter David stuff, his couple of different runs on X Factor that I love so much. Like a devout Branch Davidian. Is like a
You love Peter David. And,
But
No.
even the old stuff, I went back and got all that stuff at a certain point too, and I was a big fan.
And Mike L, I believe you're also a big fan of the X Factor, but even this original run. Before
Yes, absolutely. Like, I actually, this is right around the time I started getting into comics, and I kind of got into X Factor first. And I coincidentally, like, I didn't really know at the time they were the original X-Men. I just picked it up, and so it was kind of cool that I was reading about the original team, right, versus like the third generation of X-Men or whatever it was by that point. And yeah, so I'm really attached to Cyclops and this whole lineup, and I've always loved Louise Simonson and Walt Simonson. So yeah, this is good stuff.
Yes, X Factor is the original X-Men team: Cyclops, Iceman, Beast, Jean Grey, and Angel. And of course,
Yeah.
the big news here for X Factor, Mike L, is Jean Grey.
Yep, big
Mhm.
mistake.
She she died in 1980 in the Dark Phoenix saga, and Claremont and Byrne, they originally did not want to kill her, and the Gem Shooter said, "Well, you got to kill her. She needs to face repercussions for what she did." So she died, and then Shooter said, "We'll leave her dead." But then Shooter changed his mind and it
Mhm.
allowed him to bring her back. Although he was on his way out the door pretty much at this time too, right? He was.
Right. I don't think he knew he was on his way out the door, but
Yeah.
he was on his way. Yeah.
But yeah, he did change his mind so they could bring back Jean Grey, and that kind of
Oh.
pissed off Claremont and I guess Byrne. Although Byrne had a hand in bringing her back in a way
That's
because
what makes no sense. Yeah, Byrne didn't like her coming back constantly, but you're right. He is one of the ones that came up with the idea of how to bring her back.
I guess officially the guy who came up with the idea is writer. What's his name? Shoot, I
Kurt
have it written down.
Busiek?
Yep, Kurt
Yeah.
Busiek.
Ooh, I like it.
But at the time, John Byrne was doing the Avengers, and they needed a tie-in with, like, actually, there's a
he was doing
tie-in with the
FF.
Avengers.
He was
Oh.
doing Fantastic Four, yeah.
But I thought Byrne was involved somehow in the tie-in because they had the Avengers discover a capsule under the sea.
Yeah, there were
Okay.
like two tie-ins. I think there was one in the Avengers and one in the Fantastic Four.
Okay,
Right.
all right, so that's what.
This is a weird place to bring back Jean Grey.
Yeah, Jank, would you like to explain how the idea they had to bring her back? Do you know?
Essentially, they came up with that she was never actually the Phoenix in the first place.
Yes.
When the shuttle went in, into the Earth's atmosphere and landed in the Hudson, when the Phoenix saga whole started, the actual Jean Grey was in a cocoon down at the bottom of the river.
Yes.
Kind of recuperating, while the Phoenix just kind of took her form and her memories and tried to impersonate her, but that was not really her.
Yes. and this is terrible, right? I mean,
Yeah.
this is horrible.
Well, and I just want to say,
Jean Grey as it goes along, like they fucked up her storyline so many times.
right. The thing is even Mark Miller, when Mark Miller was doing, I don't remember if he was doing Ultimate X-Men or whatever he was doing, and I don't think he'd been reading comics at this point. He kind of skipped these years. So when someone told him this storyline, he said that he pointed out how it really ruins the Dark Phoenix saga, because if it's not Jean sacrificing herself, then the story has like no meaning, you know?
Yes.
So I think
absolutely
that,
right.
right. So I think the way that Grant Morrison and those like later writers wrote her is like, as far as they were concerned, they just ignored that retcon, and they always treated like that Dark Phoenix saga like it was just Jean Grey all along. So
yeah, it's the only way it makes sense is if she's
right.
him and sacrificing herself like that. Yeah.
I think they came up kind of work around later on where they kind of merged her soul with the Phoenix's soul or something. So it was like, oh yeah, it was her, but it's very shoddily done.
Yep.
Very confusing.
Yeah, it's so strange. So now the creators of X Factor officially are Bob Layton and Jackson Geiss, because they came up with the idea for the new team, I guess, or to bring the team together.
Yeah.
And originally, Michael, they didn't know Jean Grey was coming back, so they needed a female member for the team. Do you know who the original female member was going to be?
I believe it was Dazzler.
That is correct.
Yes.
Dazzler. How about that? Jake, how would you feel about Dazzler being an X Factor?
That'd be pretty cool. I mean, it would be sad to not see her with Longshot, but I guess that would have been all right. I like Dazzler, especially this era of Dazzler when she was less disco and more like, punk.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know who I think would have been a good replacement? Firestar. That's my pick.
Got the red hair.
Yep. Why not?
And I saw Ice. That is true. Iceman's there too, so you got the super friends.
Right. See.
Yeah. I saw just recently Chris Claremont was bitching about this whole thing yet again, and he was saying that basically this was the thing that ruined Cyclops forever as a character, was having to leave his wife, and he was like, I told him they should have just brought in Jean's sister, and I guess like given her the same powers.
Well, that's terrible too.
Yeah, not a great idea either.
But yeah, because of to get X Factor back together, Cyclops leaves his wife Madeline Pryor and their newborn son Nathan Summers in Alaska, and just bails on him and comes back to be an X Factor.
Yeah.
So what a dick.
Pretty shitty. And then he lies to her about being married for a long time, and
Cyclops is awful. Jank, the other week on here, I mentioned Cyclops and how he's just awful. And Mike L says he loves Cyclops. He's like his favorite guy, right, Mike?
Yes, he's one of them. Yep.
He's terrible.
Well, I choose to ignore certain storylines like this, so.
But he's just such a stuck-up
storyline, though. Yeah, this went on for years.
Yes. He's just a stuck-up, like, I don't know, arrogant douchebag, right?
He's very sticky at this point, especially.
Yeah.
I still like them. I
forgive him. An arcade game, he had like the wussiest punches ever. Like anywhere.
Maybe the Canadian exchange rate on Cyclops is better. Like he's better in Canada somehow.
That could be it. Yeah.
Impressive. In Canada, he has 2 eyes.
Because in the United States, he is terrible. Just awful. I'm trying to think. Let's go through the other notes I got here. Layton and Jackson Geiss. Layton wrote the first 5 issues, and Jackson Geiss drew 4 of those issues. And here's another little bit of trivia. At the end of issue 5, there's a shadowy villain shown. And then the next issue, Louise Simonson took over the writing chores, and she introduced that villain. Who was that villain, Michael?
Apocalypse.
But who was Bob Layton's original idea for that villain?
Oh, I'm going to guess. Was it the owl?
That is correct. The owl.
Wow. Okay.
The old Daredevil villain, the owl.
Yeah.
That's going to be
versus all 5 original X-Men. That seems like a terrible matchup.
Yeah, exactly.
An old fat guy with claws.
Right.
But I just think of the disparity there in power between the owl and Apocalypse. It's kind of like a big jump. So, thank goodness Louise Simonson came in. We'll talk more about how she came on in the book and stuff later. But I always hated Apocalypse. I don't know. I just
Really?
yeah, because I hate the whole. He's the first mutant and he's been alive for all these years. I just hate that nonsense.
I think
Well,
that's cool.
yeah, I think it's cool. It gets. I mean, you could argue it gets a little bit. I don't like when they bring in the mysticism of like the 12 and the Chosen and all like the war, the coming war, and all that kind of nonsense. But I don't mind the fact that he's been around that long. He's the first mutant. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
Do you like
And
his design?
Not really. Because he has a big A as his belt buckle. I mean, if you've been around for
He's got
eons,
the cool mouth, the cool like Kool-Aid mouth.
Yeah,
yes,
I like
he just drank a lot of blueberry Kool-Aid. I don't know. Not a fan. For me, it's always a toss-up. Who's worse, Mr. Sinister or Apocalypse? Very tough. They're
Mr.
both
Sinister's
terrible.
got a rough name. Yeah, that's pretty
I
on
feel
the
like I
nose.
hate most of the X-Men villains except for like Magneto and the Brotherhood. Like they have to
Right.
fight someone else eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that,
Yeah,
and
I'm skimming through these older issues, and yeah, he looks pretty brutal at first, Apocalypse. But anyway,
so in this issue of X Factor, it's number 10, as you mentioned, written by Louise Simonson, and this is the first issue that Walt Simonson drew.
that's right.
Ooh.
And trying
Is
to think
that
of
why
what
you picked it, Kevin Jank?
That was a factor involved for sure. We had talked about maybe doing the one before with Freedom Force, but Mike Dell's like, I don't know who this artist is, but he's terrible. So
well, why is Terry
Walt
Schumacher or
Who's
Shoemaker?
dissing Terry Shoemaker? Come
Yeah.
on.
Well, because the cover is like Mark Silvestri, so you're thinking, oh, this is going to be awesome. Freedom
Yeah,
Force
that's right.
versus X Factor, Mark Silvestri. But no, it's Terry Shoemaker. So it's like, oh, it's like a letdown, you know?
Yeah, he's not as good, but I still do like his art. The inks are also Joe Rubenstein, who at this time was not doing good work. I don't think so. But anyway, enough about that.
The other artist after Geis left, I think Keith Pollard also did some issues.
Okay.
Maybe. But anyway, so yeah, issue 10, we start the first Mutant Massacre issue here with X Factor.
Mhm.
And we should mention Beast loses his fur in issue 3. So now we're back to a human-looking Beast. And
No, wasn't that? Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah, to make it look more like the original team. Like they wanted to get everyone back to status quo, right?
Yeah, because he started with the fur and X Factor, and then he got kidnapped by. Hey, Michael, do you remember that guy Maddox when we read that story about Beast working on that when he first turned furry?
Oh yeah.
Well, that same guy Maddox kidnapped him because Maddox, his son is Artie, that little kid Artie.
Oh, I had no idea. Okay.
Yeah, that evil Maddox guy. And so he was trying to find a way to cure his son because his son Artie is like a deformed little guy with a big head. And he's trying to find a way to cure his son. So he kidnaps the Beast, and he wants the Beast to tell him how he came up with that formula, whatever he did, to turn him furry or whatever.
Right.
So he want to get rid of his son's mutant powers. And then he experiments on the Beast, and the Beast loses his fur.
Okay.
And then Maddox ends up dying. He gets shot and killed by, like, I don't know, some security force or something. So X Factor takes in his son, and they're watching after Artie. And then that's what brings them into the tunnels where the Morlocks are, because I guess Artie snuck down there or something. I don't know. And they went down to find Artie. You know why Artie went down there, Jank?
Supposed to be. I think he was looking for them.
I thought he saw a vision of something, and he had.
That could be. Yeah,
because his power is he can see it. He can take images from people's minds and like see them or something. So I don't know if he saw the massacre was coming, so he wanted to get down there and like warn. I don't know. But anyway, they go down to the tunnels to look for.
Done much of a good, be a good Paul Revere.
No, yeah, a little kid, not so much. All right, so we mentioned the Mute Massacre, big crossover.
It's actually kind of the first one, or one of the first crossovers, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it pretty much started a whole annual tradition of the X-Men big crossovers.
Yeah, that was a mixed blessing because this first one was awesome.
Right.
And then each subsequent one got worse and worse and worse.
And I also got to point out, they nowhere on the cover does it say Mutant Massacre, right? Which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, well, I was going to say let's get to the cover real quick, but we'll save it. Oh, by the way, before we get in the Mute Massacre, let me just say that this is Volume 1 of X Factor, and it ran for 139 issues from 1986 to 1998.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had Volume 2 come in. That was a 4-issue miniseries in 2002.
Ugh.
I did not read that. So, Jank, that was not good.
Awful. No, it had nothing to do with any of the characters you would expect. It was just like an X-Files ripoff where there was like a Mulder and Scully type of like agents for the government looking into things that involved mutants. Like,
really?
Yeah.
I don't
Not
think
good.
I even knew about that one. So that wasn't Peter David then?
No, not at all.
Ah, okay.
Volume 3, I believe, is Peter David, right?
Yep, that's where he came back.
It lasted for 50 issues from 2005 to 2009. And then it folded back into Volume 1, and they picked up the numbering. So
Yeah.
Right.
So technically it became Volume 1 again, and like issue 299 or 300. And then wait, do I have that right? Issue 199 or 200. And then it ran into issue 262 in 2013. Then there was an all-new X Factor that ran for 20 issues in 2014.
Yep. Also by
And
Peter.
that was also Peter David. And was this the one where it was like a detective agency, or was that Volume 3?
Yeah, that was 3. This one was a weird one where like Polaris was the leader, and I think Gambit was on the team, and like probably Warlock and Cypher maybe. It was a weird lineup, and they all had these like weird yellow suits, and they were working for some government, or not even the government. It was like a private company, just as like a security team. It was weird.
You're saying Cypher? They brought Cypher back to life?
Oh yeah.
Oh, for God's sake.
Him and Warlock both. They were both killed off. And then they came back as one creature, and then they eventually killed that thing off and brought you back. And
good lord,
yeah, no one.
Like I get one to bring back Jean Grey, big pivotal character, popular character. Cypher, really?
Yeah, you know what Cypher's superpower was, right?
Yeah, he could like talk.
Right? He could understand languages.
Translate languages. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Like the only significant thing he did was die. Let him stay dead.
That was the best story he was in.
Yikes.
Yeah.
They tried to like make him badass too. Like they tried to be like, oh, now he's expanded his powers. We can like read body language and know when you're gonna hit him. So he's like, like, oh god.
He can now speak Pig Latin, and he can curse in all kinds of languages.
He can whisper to your bowels and make you shit yourself.
He's so great. All right, so then this year, Volume 4 of X Factor started, 2020. Have you read any of this, Jank?
No, I've given up on the X-Men books recently. Especially once they started this whole House of X or whatever, and everything's different. It's like, nope, I'm out.
Right.
Oh, interesting. Michael, have you read any of the new stuff?
No, I read like maybe number 1 of House of X, and I thought it was well written, but the concept just didn't interest me at all, so I just stopped there.
Well, what is the concept?
I don't know. Like it's something about what is it that I don't know. I can't describe it. It was just way too not grounded to me. Like it was really science fiction-y, and I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. This wasn't X-Men to me.
Yeah, it's very strange. I don't even know exactly what happened, but all of a sudden now all the mutants are friends, even like Apocalypse and Mr. Sinister. They're like working with the X-Men, and they all live together on an island, and they basically all seem to hate humans. It's pretty racist. Turned into everything they used to hate.
Oh, well, that's pretty good, I guess. House of X, Michael, maybe it's like House of Mystery, the old DC book.
Could be.
They just each like tell a story, and that'll be great.
It'd be great if iVampire was in there. That'd be great. I'd buy it.
Starring Storm.
So, all right. So that's the X Factor total history I want to talk about. All right. So now the Mutant Massacre. It was an 11-issue story. Spanned 11 issues over, let's see here. How many different titles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different titles. And one of these titles is definitely not like the others. It starts in Uncanny X-Men 210. Then we got X Factor 9, Uncanny X-Men 211, X Factor 10, New Mutants 46, Thor 373. What? Who canceled?
Yeah.
Power Pack 27.
Yep.
Uncanny X-Men 212. Thor 374. X Factor 11, and then it ends in Uncanny X-Men 213.
Right.
So
There was also a Daredevil issue in there somewhere. Where
Daredevil was actually after it ended, technically.
Oh, okay.
Because he,
He's
you
just
think where he
cleaning up.
fights
Sabretooth, right?
Yeah, but it technically was like after it ended. But
Oh, okay.
Right. I forgot
Yeah.
about that one.
because I guess Sabretooth started living down in the tunnels after all the Morlocks were dead. And
Mhm.
Sounds like
Daredevil-
something he'd do.
Yeah, like I think it was like the month after officially it ended, but whatever, same thing. But yeah, Thor being involved in this, it seems weird. But then you realize, oh well, Louise Simonson, this was all her idea, and like Walt is her husband, so yeah, he joined in on it because he was in charge of Thor at the time. So
And that also explains Power Pack, because she was writing Power Pack.
yes,
Yep.
she created Power Pack.
Yep.
But it's just so weird to have Thor mixed in here.
Right.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like his scene.
No, not at all. I can't even remember why he ended up in the tunnels. Like,
I don't remember either.
Browsed through that issue a little bit. I think he was in the park like telling tales, and somebody came up and was like, "Hey, there's shit going down in the sewer." And I guess he had met one of the Morlocks a couple, maybe 20 issues before, and he's like, "Oh, he was a good guy. I better go check this out."
I guess that explains it. All right,
Yeah,
so yeah, but
pretty
that's
much
basically the Mutant Massacre. Is this team of evil dudes called the Marauders go into the tunnels underneath New York City, and they start slaughtering the Morlocks, who are the mutant outcasts who live in those tunnels. And now, at the time when it started, there was no reason for this. Like there wasn't. They were just said they were hired to go in there and kill these Marauders or the Morlocks. But then later on, they offer explanations for why it happened. And Jank, would you care to explain the reasoning behind why it happened?
Sure. I think the first one was pretty stupid. It was basically they're working for Mr. Sinister, and he said he was trying to get rid of the wild cards in the mutant race, whatever that means. It was pretty thin. They tried to flesh that out later in the 90s.
I think what that means is he's trying to like thin the herd, like get rid of all the useless mutants to keep the gene pool pristine, kind of like an eugenics situation, I guess.
Yeah. Yep, I could definitely see that. I mean, that's kind of Apocalypse's MO too. So it seems weird that Mr. Sinister would just be doing the same thing. But so later they kind of expanded on that, and there was a whole thing about that. Oh, it was actually he was trying to wipe out the Morlocks because he recognized that somebody was using his type of methods on them. Like there was somebody engineering them in a certain way that he recognized as being, something that he would do. And he's like, oh, I got to take this competitor out. And it's because the competitor was the Dark Beast from the Age of Apocalypse, who had come back. He survived that reality, got sent into our reality 20 years, prior. And he had been working with the Morlocks this whole time. So he was the one kind of, behind the Morlocks. And Mr. Sinister didn't like that because in the other reality, like Dark Beast was like a disciple of Mr. Sinister.
This is also
he was working.
Yeah, I don't like any of that stuff.
It's a little
in my mind, in my version, the Morlocks or the Marauders are just some bad dudes who wanted to kill the Morlocks. That's all it is.
That's really all you need.
Now, do you guys know? I got to cut in for a second, and whatever. But the behind the scenes reason for the Mutant Massacre, do you know about that?
No.
Was that basically when they were doing the Paul Smith era? I think it was Paul Smith. Chris Claremont wrote a Morlock story, and there was a scene where there was supposed to be like maybe 5 Morlocks, but Chris Claremont didn't specify. He just put like a crowd of Morlocks. So Paul Smith, instead of drawing like 4 or 5, he drew like 50. Yeah. And so the idea kind of stuck. And so Claremont used the Mutant Massacre as a way to get rid of them all so he could pare down the number of mutants again. So that's why he did it.
I like that.
Makes sense.
Because there weren't any mutants.
Oh, it's only gotten worse since then. Right. Now everyone, or an inhuman. It's like, how does society even function now if everyone has powers?
Right.
I'm trying to think back to that story Paul Smith would have done. Was that the one where Angel got kidnapped?
Yeah, and that's where Storm fought. What was her name? It became a Callisto. Yeah, and then she became leader of the Morlocks.
Is that when she fought Callisto, or did she fight Callisto later when Kitty Pryde, Caliban was supposed to marry Kitty Pryde and they kidnapped Kitty Pryde?
Oh, I think she fought her in the Paul Smith run, and the Kitty Pryde marriage, that was John Romita Jr.
Yeah, but that's not when she fought Callisto.
No, I think it was like a year later or something.
It's a real test in those first couple of Morlock stories. They got to kidnap somebody so they can date them, basically.
Yeah.
But
See,
I don't think that's true, though. I got to confirm that, Mike. I'll Google that up. Because when Storm fought Callisto, she had her mohawk and everything.
Yeah, she got her mohawk with Paul Smith.
Yeah, but then she didn't lose her powers till like 181, though, right?
I don't know. We're just talking out of our hats here. I don't know.
I thought she had her powers when she was fighting Callisto.
But she couldn't use them.
Yeah, because it was underground.
I don't know.
Or because I think it was maybe part of the rules of the battle. Like, you can't be doing that shit.
None of that weather shit. All right. Are you Googling this, Michael?
Oh, I thought you were.
No. I was waiting to hear your clicking away. You always click away.
Clickety clack. Hold on here. X-Men number 181.
What just say, when did Storm fight Callisto? That's all you got to do.
Oh.
170 is the cover of them, fighting.
Oh, well, there. All right, so that is Paul Smith.
Yeah. So I was right.
But did she have her mohawk at 170?
No, she didn't. No. So
Yeah.
she must have got it like a couple issues later.
Yeah, 171 and 72 is when Wolverine's in Japan and she meets the Yoki or whatever, and then, right?
We really sound like comic book authorities right now.
But yeah,
no, that definitely sounds right. And that's when Rogue joins.
Yeah, because remember Wolverine had the one lady he was going to marry, and then he also knew another Japanese girl who was kind of like a wild girl, and her and Storm became buddies, and she taught Storm how to live it, be wild and crazy. So then Storm cut her hair like a mohawk.
So I'm looking right now. Okay, so Kitty Pryde married Caliban, or was going to marry him, in 179. 175, I think, was John Romita Jr.'s first issue. So it was like, this was like 4 issues after Paul Smith left. So what issue did she fight? What's his name?
170. So that was only a couple issues later. They were back to the Mohawk.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, Michael, Callisto's a lady. She's not a fella.
Yeah. I didn't say. Did I say he?
Yeah, you said what's his name.
Whoops.
All right. I mean, sure, she wasn't exactly attractive, but still. All right.
That's true. Give her the respect she's earned.
So again, it's a span of 10 issues, and we're very old. It's easy to confuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So just calm the fuck down out there if you're upset.
I'm sure you guys will get tons of angry letters.
Right? Yes.
Letters, yep. We won't hear about them for a week, so it's okay.
So, all right. So, the Mutant Massacre killing them. All right. I think we're set. Can we talk about the issue now?
But one more thing we got to talk about. One more thing is this cover design, right?
Well, yeah, I was going to talk about the cover. Yeah,
all right.
Go ahead, talk about it, Michael.
Well, yeah. So this was this month was the 25th anniversary of Marvel Comics, specifically Fantastic Four #1, which was considered the beginning of the Marvel Universe. Although since then, they've kind of stopped celebrating that, and they kind of just celebrate, 1941 or whatever, or no, 39. They celebrate Marvel Comics #1 with the Submariner and the Human Torch. That's the beginning of the Marvel Universe now. But at this point, they kind of ignored most of that stuff and just started with Fantastic Four #1, right? So for this month to celebrate, every Marvel comic had a face shot of one of the members of either the star of the book, or if it was a team, it was a member of the team. And they had a little border with most of the major Marvel superheroes around the face. And these covers are all pretty much awesome.
Yeah.
I love them.
All told, there were 29 of these covers.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, the rule was you could only feature one character on the cover. And the one we have for X Factor today, it's just Cyclops staring right at the camera.
Right.
But there are some pretty creative variations on it, like the Spider-Man one for Amazing Spider-Man, he's hanging upside down.
Right.
The
one for X-Men's tremendous.
Yeah, that one's great.
I think
I don't know how his mask is staying on there, but it looks cool.
Yeah, it's
like
X-Men 211, I believe, right? And Is that what it is?
Wolverine. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, half his mask is ripped off and cut because he's fighting Sabretooth, so
Right.
he's all beat up.
And then don't forget, well, there's a nice Barry Windsor Smith cover for New Mutants. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, except you don't even really realize that's magic, though. I mean, it's just a blonde-haired girl. It's like, oh, that's magic? All right.
Thor is really good with the beard. That was a good one.
Yeah, and that is, who did that? Is that Walt?
Walt Simonson, yeah. Good stuff.
There's a weird one for Fantastic Four. Thing is in a trench coat and a hat.
Oh, right. I remember that. Yeah.
Hiding his face. Yeah, that's weird.
Like he's a flasher.
The Avengers wasn't very good either. Like Black Knight, who canceled?
Yeah. I think it's because all the other guys had their own books, so he was probably one of the only ones without his own title.
Yeah, that does make sense. But man,
Mike,
West Coast Avengers with the Hawkeye winking, that one's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, but
G.I. Joe has Snake Eyes with the Uzi. But Mike L, the Transformer one, can you recognize that robot?
You mean Menasor?
That's right. Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Because some people think it's Megatron or something, but no, it's not Megatron. Another good one is Alpha Flight, because you got Vindicator on the cover, and if you look closely in her glasses, you see the reflection of the rest of the team.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They cheated.
Yeah, it's a pretty clever way to get around the restriction. But as you mentioned, Michael, we got the border with all these heroes. Mm-hmm. We have from left to right. Well, let's go clockwise, I guess. From top right around to the left, you got Thor, all the Fantastic Four. Luke Cage snuck in there. Good for you, Luke Cage.
Yeah.
No Iron Fist. Beat it. No, we don't want your.
That's true. That's true. You're right. Well, wasn't he dead at this point? I think he was dead or depowered.
Oh, maybe. We have Hawkeye, Vision, Scarlet Witch, Daredevil. Then we have X Factor, X-Men right at the bottom center because they're the tops.
Yeah.
And then look under the little barcode. There's Puck. Puck is sneaking in there.
Oh, okay.
To represent Alpha Flight.
Oh yeah. Ant-Man's down there too. Very tiny.
Yeah, to the left of the code, you get a little bit of Ant-Man and Wasp, and then we have Captain America, Namor, Doctor Strange, the other Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Well, what was her name? Rambeau? Or
Monica Rambeau.
Yeah. Then we have the silver and red Iron Man, Hulk, and then a black outfit Spidey. And do you know who drew that border, Michael?
That's a good question. I don't know, actually.
John Romita Sr.
Really? See, I would have guessed him, but it doesn't really look like him. But yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, it makes sense that he would do it, though.
Yep.
I can't believe you didn't mention the worst one of all, Web of Spider-Man, where it's just the circle logo of Spidey's face.
Yeah, because like the spider logo. What was that? The spider sign or signal?
Like from his glove. Yeah.
Oh, that one is terrible.
Because Spider-Man had 4 books, so they kind of just ran out of ideas.
They ran out of ideas. I like the one they made. One like looked like a Ditko era Spider-Man, even though Ditko did not draw it.
Oh, was that which one? Which one was that? Was it Marvel Tales, right?
No.
Yeah, Marvel Tales starring the sensational Spider-Man. Yeah.
Oh, it was actually still Marvel Tales?
Yeah, it was.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, it's too late in the game for Marvel Tales to still be around 86.
Oh, it lasted a while longer, I think, too.
Yeah. But yeah, Ditko did not do that drawing, but it looks very much like Ditko. So.
Yeah, it's probably Ron Friends, I think.
I don't think, actually.
No?
I want to say it's Mark Bright. But
no, would you care to make it interesting?
Well, I just read. I'm not looking at it now, but I just read it last night. It's not Ron Friends. I'm almost positive.
All right, that's fine.
I like that even like the not really Marvel superhero comics, but the Star comics and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
like the Care Bears and shit. Even have the
Muppet Babies.
Yeah,
so cool. Ewoks.
They got everything.
I forgot there was 2 Conan ones too. I'm looking at them all right now. And then we forgot to mention it's also cool because like you said, there can only be 1 per cover. And Cloak and Dagger had Cloak. And Dagger was reflected, right, in his little whatever that is.
Oh, I didn't even notice it.
Medallion, yeah.
Yeah, so they got around that as well then.
I would have gone with Dagger myself. Anytime you can see more Dagger, I'm in.
The classic X-Men cover had a nice picture of Storm drawn by Art Adams.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was good.
The Hulk had Herb Trimp doing an old school Hulk picture.
Right.
Yeah.
And Michael, another interesting note: the Marvel Age cover has your buddy Starbrand on it.
Right. Right.
And on because Marvel Age didn't have advertising on the back.
Okay.
If you look at the back cover, it shows everything from behind.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just the back of his hair. I've always been wondering.
But it shows the whole border too, like all the border guys from behind.
That's very cool. Okay, I'm looking at Marvel Tales number 193, and I'm trying to find who drew the cover, but it doesn't say. I can't find it. Son of a gun.
I found it.
And it's...
Wait, I thought I found it.
I thought it did say Ron Friends, and you're like, oh, got him.
Yeah, never mind.
Well, I went to Marvel Fandom. They always have the cover.
Yeah,
artist.
they don't have it. I know, that's where I
Yeah.
went too. That's funny.
Well, I read an article last night. It ranked all the 29 covers, and they showed the cover artist of everybody. And now I can't find that article. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves. Hey, talk about Walt Simonson's autograph on that picture, Michael. The details of his...
Oh, yeah. Kevin Jank, are you aware of what his signature is supposed to be?
I am not, no.
It is supposed to be a dinosaur, a brontosaurus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah, I can kind of see it. It's very unique. I like it.
Yeah. I got. What's that?
Just to write it where it actually looks like my name. I wish I was one of these people who actually had like a fancy signature.
Yeah, I know, eh? What was I going to say? I do like Walt Simonson, but I do think his Thor stuff was slightly better than his X Factor stuff. Like,
yeah, the art in this issue we're doing today is pretty solid, but if you look at the ones after this, it can be a little rough at times.
Yeah, a little rushed. But
yes.
His Thor stuff was really good. But anyway, are you still looking, Mike Dell?
Yeah, I'll find it at some point. We'll just keep talking.
Okay. So I guess we should get to the issue. We might as well, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
While we're here.
Right. Yeah. First of all, I got to say, I love this. First of all, I love this logo. Is this not one of the coolest logos you've ever seen?
The X Factor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that what we're talking about today?
I
think it's awesome because,
I don't have it breaking new ground or anything.
Oh, it's like you could pick this up and put it on your desk. It's so cool, you know? I love it. I love it.
I mean, it's the same kind of thing they do with the X-Men, but they put the X on top instead of on the side. And then they kind of change the perspective a little bit. But it's got the boxed lettering.
If you look at the X-Force logo, it's this exact logo, just taken apart and turned sideways and twisted around. Kind of cool. Of course, whenever I tell people that, it doesn't impress them at all. But anyway. Yeah, I like this logo. Also, what we should note, this is the time where this was the beginning of the Marvel 25th anniversary logo on the top left, right? So for this whole year, it just said Marvel 25th anniversary. So that was kind of cool.
We have Angel in the character box.
Right.
Foreshadowing that something might happen to Angel this issue.
Yeah. In case the name Fallen Angel didn't give it away enough.
But yeah, I love this shot of Cyclops. Is great. I've always loved it. One of my favorite characters. Let me reiterate that. But anyway.
It does kind of show the essence of Cyclops, though. Not having any fun. Just standing there. And
Yep.
But yeah, great cover. Great cover. So yeah, we can go inside now. Yeah, so basically we come in the middle of some Morlocks hanging out in the what do they call this? The alley, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I thought it was just the tunnel.
Well, yeah, but the main stretch of tunnel is called the alley. It's like the main.
I did not know that.
Street. Yeah, it's like their main street, and so they're basically hanging out.
Hey, Michael.
What?
Breaking news. It wasn't Mark Bright and it wasn't Ron Friends. It was Steve Lytle.
Really?
See, that's why I was thinking Bright, because Lytle.
Oh, okay.
Steve Lytle.
Wow, I never would have guessed that. Huh. We were both wrong.
Yeah.
Lost our street cred.
When he goes to me.
Yep.
You got so busted.
All right. Well, at least you weren't right. But anyway, back to the story. So basically, the Morlocks are chilling out, and then they hear, and then we know they hear something, not because we actually hear it, but because they tell us they hear it. Zeke, I think maybe I hear it now. Yeah, I hear it now too, popping, and it sounds like screams. It's coming closer. Oh my lord. Cut to the next page, and we got a really nice double page spread of, I don't remember which guy this is, but he's getting blown apart by like 3 different marauders here. He's getting a...
Well, no, he's just getting a harpoon from Harpoon.
No, but he's also getting shot with a gun.
I think Scalp Hunter's shooting.
Oh, yeah, he's shooting the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
And then...
dig the perspective there, Michael. It's going behind him. And
I thought it was hitting him. Okay. So he's getting shot, and then what's his name is shooting everyone else. Okay. See, this is a pretty freaking big sewer here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
It's quite the complex.
Right.
It's got cathedral ceilings.
Yeah.
You got to pay a little extra for your sewers with cathedral ceilings, but it's worth it.
Mm.
Killing all the blocks. They want that space for themselves. This is prime real
this is a
estate.
great. I guess this is a double page spread, right? In the main.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, sure is.
So on the left, we see our first glimpse of the Marauders. We see Scalp Hunter from behind, and then we have Harpoon, Sabretooth, Blockbuster's back there, and Arclight is in the foreground as well. Should we talk about the? I guess we should name the Marauders. Scalp Hunter, Michael. Who's Scalp Hunter?
I don't really know. I don't know much about these guys. I mean, I've read all the X-Men, but I don't really remember much about them.
Most of them made their first appearance in X-Men 210, although a couple of them did not. We'll get to them in a minute. But like Scalp Hunter, Harpoon, Arclight, they all appeared in X-Men 210. Scalp Hunter is like a 6'6" American Indian fella who was in the military during, I think they said World War II. So he's like an older guy. I don't know how he's so old.
Yeah, I think cloning.
Yeah, I was going to say
a bunch by Mr. Sinister. So
that was another thing we'll talk about later. But his power is he can take metal and transform it into a weapon. Like he can shape it, and that's why his costume's kind of like covered in metal parts. He can take them off and make them into guns. That's his power.
That's cool.
And I guess. And we have Harpoon. He's like an Inuit fella, and he throws harpoons. But when he throws them, they turn into energy.
That's why this guy's exploding.
Yeah, got hit with an energy beam. Arclight, she was in Vietnam, and she was like a soldier in Vietnam, and her name Arclight comes from like B-52 bombers bombing things. They call them Arclight. So her power is she can like stomp or hit the ground and cause like shock waves, and she's real strong. That Blockbuster guy is real strong as well.
Yeah, kind of redundant there, but whatever.
And everyone knows Sabretooth.
Right.
Yeah, that's the big one.
There's a couple other ones in here. Prism.
He's cool.
Yeah, while he lasts. He's awesome.
Yeah.
We'll talk about him later.
Him and Riptide, not long for this world.
Yeah, Riptide's not in here because Riptide's already dead, right?
Yeah, I don't know if he's dead yet, because there's probably only that first issue of the Mutant Massacre.
But I think he died in issue 210, right? Colossus just grabs his neck and.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that's like the first time Colossus kills or whatever.
Yeah.
We should mention X-Men 210. They fight the Marauders, and Colossus gets mortally injured by Riptide, who's this old guy who can spin around and shoot like ninja stars out of his body. And he drove him into Colossus's body. But Colossus was able to kill him. And then Magneto healed Colossus, but in doing so, he kind of like paralyzed him by reshaping his metal. So Colossus is basically in a coma, kind of. Nightcrawler
was okay for the most part, except he couldn't change back into his human form.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, because it would.
Well, he had to recover a little bit, though.
Right? Yeah. Like he wasn't.
And then when he came back to being around, he was stronger than he was, right?
Yeah.
Because Magneto, I guess, amped him up or something. But Nightcrawler had already been injured in a battle with Nimrod, so he was weakened already. And then in that battle, he got cut up by Riptide, which is why Colossus killed Riptide because he injured Nightcrawler. And then Shadowcat, Kitty Pryde, took a harpoon from Harpoon while she was phased, and somehow it made it that she could not return to her tangible form. She just stayed phased.
Right.
Oh. She was like a ghost.
Yeah, so the X-Men took some lumps. In that
Yeah, they did.
Now, did you guys know Chris Claremont's secret plan for Mutant Massacre and why he did all that?
Well, you said to kill the Morlocks.
Well, no, but why he specifically injured all his X-Men is because his original idea
Excalibur?
No, well, what it was he was like, well, I want to do what happened in X-Men, Giant Size X-Men. I'm going to kill off or get rid of most of the team and just keep Wolverine and Storm. And so that's why he was basically planning to get rid of Colossus, Kitty Pryde, and Nightcrawler, and then have Storm and Wolverine start a new team with Longshot, Psylocke, Dazzler, and was it Havoc?
Yep.
It was Havoc, yeah. But I think he kind of got cold feet, brought back Colossus, and then kept Kitty Pryde and Nightcrawler around in Excalibur. But that was his original plan. It's just to have a completely new team. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he essentially had a new team. But...
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, it just wasn't as big an event.
lots
Like, I think if they would have made it like a one-issue big thing, like here's the new team, it would have stuck. But because it was gradual, I don't think it really caught on, you know?
Yeah.
I did like that team. That was a fun team.
Yeah, that was like when I first got into X-Men, that was the team. So, you know, that was my era.
Yeah, the whole Australia thing.
Yeah, the Outback.
Yeah, and Mark Silvestri was doing the art during that time.
Right. Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
So a couple other I always want to say Morlocks, Marauders we didn't mention. Scrambler is also in here, and his power is if he touches you can scramble your mutant ability. And then Vertigo as well. Now Vertigo, her power, she can make you feel sick, like you got vertigo, dizzy, and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And they had fought her before because she was in the Savage Land.
Yeah, the mutates.
Yes. So her and Sabretooth had been around before, but all the other ones are pretty much new.
Right, yeah. Sabretooth was introduced in what, Iron Fist, I think?
Yes. Iron Fist 17, I believe.
Right.
So...
Yeah, no hint of his connection to Wolverine, before this. This is where that all started.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't think they'd ever fought before until this.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and their fight in X-Men 211 is tremendous. And then
Yeah.
12 too, right in there too. But what was I going to say? Oh, Jank, here's what I want to ask you. I love the Marauders just in concept. I don't like the Mr. Sinister crap, but we should also mention Gambit was tied into the Marauders too, right? They retconned that. Said Gambit was the one that
he led them to the tunnels in the first place and got them past their defenses, quote unquote. But what defenses do they have? It seems like anyone can just wander.
Right? Sewer grate. He got them through the sewer grate. I think he also recruited the Marauders, and apparently he used to work at a truck stop diner with Scalp Hunter. That's how he met Scalp Hunter.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Yep. Tried to eventually make Scalp Hunter kind of a hero. Like he wasn't actually that bad of a guy. I don't know. Sure seems like it in this issue though.
Yeah.
Because he's murdering people left and right.
Yeah, and the reason he got his name Scalp Hunter was because when he was in the military, he murdered 8 of his fellow soldiers and took their scalps.
Yikes.
And so they killed him in a firing squad. But he also has like healing ability. So, I guess that's why he's so old. He has a healing ability.
Oh, okay.
So he was able to survive.
There's a lot going around in World War II, like Nick Fury. He can live forever.
But what I wanted to ask you about the Marauders, Jank, real quick, is while I love the Marauders, the villain team, apparently now Kitty Pryde's leading a Marauders team.
Yeah, I again, this is just where it's like, everything goes now. All the villains are heroes, and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Let's name a team after that group of people that murdered hundreds of mutants. Let's name a team after them.
I think they also have a Hellions too. Like, why would you want to be the Hellions? Emma Frost, like New Mutants, rivalry team.
It just seems like they're recycling old names and all the old ideas, but they're just reshuffling the deck. That's what it seems like.
Without any,
that team is like it's Kitty Pryde, like Bishop, I think Storm maybe. It's like a weird assortment of people.
Yeah.
Leftover people, yeah.
All the teams seem like that now.
Right,
like
I agree.
This.
Like a hodgepodge of just I don't and that's the thing is I do like Peter David's X Factor, but one thing I didn't like about it was how like it was just kind of like leftover X-Men, you know?
I could totally see that, but the good thing was actually he did a lot of cool things with those leftovers. Like he took the things that nobody wanted to use anymore, but still had a lot of life in them, and found new ways to use them, which I appreciated. Because
Right.
what I hate is when they keep introducing new team of young mutant after new team of young mutants, and like then they just forget about them after 9 issues, and they're gone, and you'll never see them again.
Right, right.
Yeah, he brought multiple man back, or right, Jamie
Madrox, right, right.
Yeah, he was the leader of that team. He was one of the greatest characters in all of comics, in my opinion, under Peter David.
And he also breathed new life into Quicksilver, correct? Like he made Quicksilver kind of cool.
Yeah, he did. You're right. I think he kind of gave him the personality he has now of being really impatient, right? And just being a complete asshole, I think.
Yeah, because everything moves so fast for him, he's got no time for people who move at regular speed.
Right.
Yeah. So, all right, getting back to the main story here.
Right.
All right, so
Back
we got
to
the
the
Marauders.
story.
Page 2.
Yeah.
We're on page 2.
Longest episode ever. Okay. So then we and we cut over to X Factor. Oh, and by the way, I gotta point out something. This is confusing as heck because the book is called X Factor.
Yes.
But when they're in their superhero identities, they're not X Factor. They're the Exterminators.
Yes.
But when they're in disguise as like the Ghostbusters, they're X Factor.
Yes, we forgot to explain all this.
Yes.
So in issue 1 of X Factor,
Terrible plan.
Cameron Hodge, Warren Worthington's old college roommate, has an idea how they can help mutants. They're going to be calling themselves X Factor. They will go and investigate reports of mutant activity, and they will be like advertised as a government agency that will apprehend these mutants and take them away from society. But really what they'll be doing is taking these mutants to like an Xavier school kind of setup to train them how to use their powers. And then like Michael was saying, when they're doing that, they're dressed like the Ghostbusters.
Right.
All blue outfits. Angel has a giant backpack to cover his wings.
Right.
Cyclops still has his red glasses. Yet no one could figure out, these 5 people that look like that are these 5 people. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, the guy with the huge hands who was on the team, and then there's this huge hands guy on this.
Yeah.
And there's a red-headed lady on both teams, and then there's a dude with red glasses, and then they have to be totally different.
Yep.
So yeah, it's very convoluted.
They're always seen in the same place at the same time. Very strange.
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's weird.
But also, it would have been so much easier to make the Ghostbusters the Exterminators because the name fits, right?
Yes.
And then make the superheroes X Factor. I don't know. It just wasn't well thought out.
No, none of it was. Just the idea of like we're gonna fan the flames of human mutant hatred to try to get mutants on our side. Like what?
Right.
Bad plan.
Well, I guess Cameron Hodge he's an evil guy kind of, so he was trying to play that angle. But you think they would have picked up on like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this.
But I think wasn't that an idea that Louise Simonson introduced to explain the stupid idea? Because I think even in this book, one of the characters, I think it's like Boom Boom or Skids, is like, yeah, like what a stupid idea that is. And I think that's almost like their commentary on Bob Layton's idea. It could be anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially when I think their whole purpose for like making X Factor was like Magneto's running the X-Men now. He's bad. We can't go there.
Oh, that's
like,
right.
Part of the X-Men.
Right.
Let's start this stupid idea.
Right.
Let's basically be bad guys. Okay.
Yeah, keep in mind, Cyclops can't join the X-Men because of Magneto. He's a bad guy leading the team, but he can leave his wife and child in a lab.
Yep.
So, all right.
So anyway, the Exterminators, who are the original X-Men, have rescued Skids and Rusty Collins, and they're trying to transport them through the tunnels, right, to get them to safety.
And who were Skids and Rusty Collins?
Oh, good question. So Rusty Collins was introduced in X Factor #1, and he's someone who wasn't he on a date with his girlfriend, and his powers manifested themselves during
He was in the military, like he was in the Navy or something.
Okay.
and he was meeting with a lady at dinner. I guess it was a date or she was a pro. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was a prostitute, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he
That's
lost
fun.
control of his powers, and everyone knew. And his powers are basically like Human Torch, like he can shoot fire and stuff.
Right.
And
He shot fire, so to speak, and
Yeah.
burned this girl. And I think did he kill her?
I can't remember.
I think she went. I think she was in the hospital, all burned up, from what I remember.
Yeah, that's right.
But
Which
so
is a
the
good
yeah, so he's the first mutant that they got called on to go investigate and to apprehend.
Mhm.
And now I don't know why. I guess they had a fight with the Freedom Force, who the Freedom Force at this time was the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants: Mystique, Pyro, Blob, Avalanche. They're now the Freedom Force, and they're working for the government. So all the good guys are bad, and all the bad guys are good.
Yeah, strange times.
And to just confuse things even more, Rusty and Skids, this girl who has she has like a personal force field around her all the time, so she can skid on things. I don't know, but they eventually become a team called Exterminators.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They had the miniseries. That's right.
Limited series, yeah.
That's bad. That's just really bad. It's just like when there's so many instances of this. Just like when Captain America became Nomad, but then Bucky 3 came back and he became Nomad. Remember that? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
The long haired, yeah. Yep.
Okay, back to the story. Page 3. Okay, or whatever. Okay, so the Exterminators are with Rusty and Skids. They come across the mutants getting massacred, because that is the Mutant Massacre. And basically, they confront them and they start the fisticuffs.
Well, first, Angel and Jean Grey are taking. Rusty was injured, so they're taking him and Skids back to their headquarters.
That's right. They split up. Yeah.
Yeah. So we just have Cyclops, Beast, and Iceman now in the tunnels.
Right.
Fronting the Marauders.
Yeah, they're looking for Artie, who is lost down there somewhere.
Yeah. Right. And they hear the screams, right? Yep. They follow the screams, and they come across more Murlocs getting shot. And then that's when they see the Marauders. They see, who is this? This is who is this? No.
That's Harpoon kills Zeke. Zeke catches a Harpoon in the back, and then we see Arclight and Harpoon about to kill the other people, and we get an expression of Iceman, Cyclops, and Beast. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harpoon's getting it done in this issue. He's taking them off.
Harpoon is all over the place in this issue.
Yeah.
And so Beast goes to jump at Harpoon, and Harpoon just stabs him with his harpoon and cuts out his side.
Yikes.
Him in the side.
Gross.
My side.
my side. I love that. It made him stutter. Anyway, and then go ahead.
Go ahead, Michael.
Well, no, I was just gonna say I love this effect that Walt Simonson does for Cyclops' eyes. The way he makes them glow like that, it's so cool.
I like the effect he does with the Harpoon here when he's throwing the Harpoon at Iceman right above that Cyclops picture. But look at the Harpoon, the pole of it's kind of bent a little bit.
Yeah, good point.
To kind of give it like more snap and action in the throw. You know, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is cool. I also love the way he draws Iceman. That's out there.
Yeah, this is Iceman as like the big icicle guy, or like the big block of ice guy. And this is before, remember, his powers go out of control not too long after this, and he has to wear a belt, like a wrestling heavyweight belt to control it.
That's right.
An Asgardian belt, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, it was Asgardian. Anyway, so then, Cyclops shoots the Harpoon.
Well, he tries to.
He just deflects it?
Yeah, Iceman blocks the Harpoon with an ice wall, and then Cyclops tries to shoot Harpoon, and that scares them away. So Arclight hits the side of the tunnel to cause a ceiling collapse.
Right.
So Arclight and Harpoon can get away, and Cyclops shoots up all the debris.
Right, he's like a wide I-beam on. Pulverize will stop. Oh, I see. Pulverize is the setting. Okay.
Yes.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah, it's got like pulverize, tingle, massage, that kind of thing.
Popcorn.
Yeah. Yes. If you need to make some popcorn.
Right.
But it's tremendous.
It's really funny. Yeah. So then they keep walking, they keep talking. If you read enough Louise Simonson comics, you'll see that they're all kind of like this. People walking and talking, you know?
Yeah.
It's like the West Wing.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So then basically, so then Skids is like, you know, Rusty says X Factor's okay, but I figure, well, he was with them for a while. They're probably brainwashed him or something. I've seen the X Factor ads and the effect they've had on some people. So, you know, she's kind of explaining anything. And see, here's the thing is I'll give Louise Simonson credit for one thing. She doesn't do those Marvel style flashbacks where they summarize like 10 issues in like 2 pages. She just explains it all through dialogue, which can be worse, but whatever. At least it's something different.
Yeah, it's fine the way she's doing it here, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not terrible.
Because this girl,
for
because Skids is a teenage girl, he's just kind of rambling at the mouth, so it's fine.
Right. And then here we have
Skids is one of the Morlocks, so it kind of makes this personal for her, and it's weird that she's a Morlock because she looks totally normal.
yeah, because most of them are all kind of like unsightly, right?
And she kind of looks exactly like Boom Boom without glasses.
Right, you're right.
Yeah. It gets very confusing.
Right.
They introduced Boom Boom in like 2 issues from now, so
yep.
I don't know what they were thinking. Can we give one of them brown hair?
Yeah.
Yes, that would have helped.
So then Angel checks back in with Cameron Hodge, who's kind of like their boss, and then what's her name? Skids is like, "Whoa, you're working with Cameron Hodge, the PR guy for X Factor. I've seen him on TV. You said we'd be safe. You were lying to me. You're X Factor." So this is where it gets confusing for her and for the reader.
Yes.
And then Angel's trying to explain X Factor hunts mutants, but to teach them to control their often dangerous powers, like Rusty's firepower. Blah, blah, blah. So they're trying to convince her. She doesn't believe them. So then they didn't call her Marvel Girl, but Jean Grey uses her telekinesis to like trap her in some metal, right?
Yeah. And what better way to prove to someone you're good people than encasing them in metal so they can't leave?
Right.
Well, she's talking to her at the time saying, you know, if you just stay with us a day or so, and if you see that we're bad, we'll let you go or whatever. But I don't. Yep. She's trying to calm it by talking to her, but it's not exactly a nice
cult
way to host a visitor, encase them in a metal. But we should mention Jean Grey when she came out of her cocoon under Jamaica Bay or wherever she was. Her telepathic powers got reduced, but her telekinetic powers got stronger.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
I can't remember if that was more like the way she used to be or less like the way she used to be, like in the early days. I don't know.
I think initially she was just telepathic, right?
No. She was
always telekinetic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Professor was like the telepath, and she was the telekinetic. I think that's how they balanced it out.
Right.
All right. Fair enough. I never read any of the real early X-Men, so
that's pretty good stuff.
All right. So now we're cutting back to the tunnels again, and we got the 3 amigos. We get Leech. He's a little green kid whose power is he can sap mutant abilities. So when he's around, he leeches your power. We have Caliban, who's like he's a tracker, right? Is that his?
He can sense other mutants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then we have our buddy Artie and his teddy bear. He carries his teddy bear with him.
And he is the one who can speak in like kind of holograms, right? Or projections.
Yeah, he can take people's thoughts and project them.
But he also communicates that way. Like if he wants to tell you something, he'll just create a picture of it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, he's the son of the guy who gave the Beast Beast was working for when he got the fur and all that.
So. Right. So then out of the blue comes Sabretooth, right?
Yeah, because Caliban can't use his powers if he's close to Leech. So he says, hey, I'm going to walk away a little bit to see if I can sense anything. And right when he's getting away, Sabretooth comes in and cracks him.
Right. And then, and Sabretooth's like, he's like, Leech, Big Eyes, danger, run, get out of, don't count on it, chump. Ain't nothing gonna dull Sabretooth's claws or his senses. Someone coming. Who? And then the Artie and Leech hide in this little sewer, and then
in the hole, fast.
Yeah.
I lost my virginity. Yeah.
So he's shoving Artie into like a sewer pipe, and then Leech climbs in, and then the camera switches to inside the sewer pipe, and as we're looking out, we see an optic blast
That's right.
Across.
Shrek. Yep, it's Cyclops, my hero. Come to save the day. So yeah, he shoots Sabretooth. Sabretooth is down. And then, oh, I guess they don't even realize Artie and Leech are there, so they just take off, eh?
Yeah, but like Iceman's very concerned for Sabretooth. He's like, psych. Like, you shot him too hard.
He's murdering people.
Yeah. It's like he was trying to kill us.
Yeah.
How many others did he kill? But he's alive so far. Dun, dun.
He's got a very good healing factor, apparently, because even on like Cyclops' highest setting, he's back in 2 seconds.
Well, yeah, because he lowered it to popcorn. It wasn't on pulverize.
Yeah.
So, and Artie wants to sneak out of the pipe because the X Factor, they're his buddies. So he wants to get out and say, hey, here I am. It's me, Artie. But Leech is like, no, stranger's bad. Stranger's bad.
But it's funny because they're only like 15 feet away. Walt Simonson should have drawn them. I don't know. They should have been hiding in a more, hidden place or something. Because it's just weird that they're right there and they can't see them. But anyway.
But it's kind of tough to keep.
He just can't get in there somehow, even though a full-size man like Caliban got in there. But
right. So then Sabretooth is doing his classic, bad guy that quotes a fairy tale or like a children's song, right, to sound menacing. I'll take it'll take more than that to stop me, little piggies. Shall I prove it? Shall I huff and puff and blow your house down? And then it cuts away. Yeah,
because Sabretooth, they think he's KO'd, so they leave because they don't know Artie and them. They just leave Caliban there to bleed out, I guess. They don't care about Caliban. So while Cyclops, Beast, and Iceman leave, Artie and Leech are pulling them into the tunnel, the little sewer pipe. And then Sabretooth wakes up, talks about his healing factor, because villains always have to explain why they're not dead. And he takes a swipe at them, calling them little piggies. And dun, dun, dun.
Right.
And then we cut to the Freedom Force, Michael.
That's right. They're at the Pentagon watching the news, right? And then for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
and they're like, because so basically on the news they're like investigating reports that the millionaire mutant playboy Warren Worthington, known also as the Angel, is the financial backer for X Factor. So this is the beginning of the unraveling of their secret identities, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever they are.
It took this long.
Yeah, and then it cuts to a meeting with
yeah, because it's crazy. I don't know if you noticed, but that guy Warren Worthington III, that guy with wings out of his back, he might be a mutant.
Yeah. Yeah.
He might be a mutant. I don't know. Anyway.
So then we cut over to this business meeting for the Worthington building.
Worthington Industries, yeah.
Yeah, Candy Southern, and it's interrupted by a guy telling her that the news has announced that Warren Worthington is an evil mutant.
Yeah.
And that Worthington Enterprises is backing X Factor. And I love this dialogue. And her thought, well, blast! Warren thought he'd buried his interest in X Factor so cleverly no one could ferret out the connection. How? And she's like, well, forget it. I'll worry about it later.
We'll keep reading, Mike. I'll read the next.
I'll read the whole issue. I'm supposedly his lover, and I haven't.
That's what I wanted you to read. I'm supposedly his lover.
I'm supposedly his lover, and I haven't had a real conversation with him in weeks. We've both been so busy. It's time I went to him. When he hears this, he's going to need me. Uh-oh, that's kind of a foreshadowing, isn't it?
Yeah. He's needing something else right now.
Yep. So then we cut over to the infirmary and at the X Factor complex, and they're tending to Rusty Collins. And then Warren Worthington now has his big backpack on, right?
To cover his wings.
Yeah. And then so then now he finds out that he's all over the news, right, as the financial backer of X Factor. And that's it. Then we cut back to the continuing Mutant Massacre, right?
Yeah, now we see Blockbuster, the big strong guy.
Right.
Punching people. And we see Vertigo making people sick. She makes Iceman sick.
Right.
And
we see Blockbuster smashing Iceman's ice.
Then Cyclops shoots him in the butt.
Right. And then Beast uses his big feet. I love that move. Remember he used that in the issue we read.
Yep.
The double foot. The Captain Kirk, I call it. The double kick.
Kicks Vertigo. Right in the
Right.
bosom. Right in the bosom. It looks like her. Yeah.
1 foot on each boob.
So then
So
once again they let them go. They're like,
Yeah, the Marauders hit and run. As soon as things start
Yeah.
going sour, they just take off. They just run.
right. Yeah, so they let
Grab-
them let them go. We're in no shape to chase them. Anyway, so then we cut back to Artie and Leech, and yeah, where did Caliban go? Wasn't he with them?
Oh, he's just bleeding out. He's in
Okay.
the sewer pipe. Yeah, they pulled him into the sewer pipe, and he's
Right.
just bleeding out. In the,
I guess, yeah, they're not too concerned.
Nope.
Caliban. He eventually becomes a member of the team, though, so you'd think they'd show him a little bit more.
Well, he
Yeah.
eventually betrays the team to go with Apocalypse too, right?
True.
True.
Yep.
And then, so then, then Artie, is it Artie? Yeah, he now he knows where X Factor is because he's using his power, right?
Yeah.
And and then we cut back to X Factor Infirmary, and then we got a little bit of soap opera action going on here.
Yep.
We got Angel and Jean Grey chatting it up. They're kind of just talking about what's been going on, and in his head, Angel is admitting to the reader that he kind of has like feelings for Jean Grey, right?
Yep.
And they're getting closer and closer, and then Jean is getting all down on herself, and then we see,
Yeah, because keep in mind, real quick, Jean Grey came back to life. She's still in love with Scott, but while she was gone, Scott married a lady who looks exactly like her. And
Right.
had a kid.
And then they had a
So-
kid, and then he abandoned her in
Yes.
Alaska.
So not only did she find out the man she loves is married another woman, but she found out the man she loves is a creep because he left his wife and kid.
And then he lied about it to her so that he could still make kissy face with her. She wouldn't be mad at him.
Yikes.
So yeah, as Angel and her are about to almost looks like they might make sweet, sweet love, Candy Southern walks in.
That's right. Supposedly his lover, right?
Yeah. And she is pissed.
Yeah, she's pissed. And she's I like how she says here, I've overlooked your philandering before, but this is the limit. And you, Jean Grey, haven't you wrecked enough relationships, enough lives?
Wow.
And for some reason, I always remember this line. You're a mutant, all right, but your real power is to make men fall in love with you and then destroy them.
Wow, what a shot at Jean Grey.
Yep.
Yeah. Holy hell. But let me just say for the record, this has never happened to me. Like I've never been with one lady, and then another lady comes in and says, Michael Dell, I'm tired of your philandering. Not once.
You've never been involved in a love pentagram
Nope.
between Angel and Jean Grey and Cyclops' wife and Candy Southern.
Came back from the dead and found out that
Crazy.
her boyfriend married someone that looked exactly like her, and
Yeah.
it's rare, but it does happen.
I mean, I'd be flattered at that point. They're like, "Oh, they married someone who looks just like you."
Yeah.
Cool.
I'd be like, oh yeah. So basically, you love me more than you love your wife. It's all right. Just say it. Say it, Scott. Just say it. It's okay.
Yeah. You hate your child. It's okay.
So eventually, Jean says, "All right, well, go after Candy. Explain things. I'm going to go down in the tunnels and try and get Cyclops and the boys." But Warren says, "No. You know what? I'm going to go with you down to that tunnels." Because what is more valuable in underground tunnel combat than a guy with wings?
He's useless in the daylight outside, like let alone in a fucking tunnel.
Yes. So now we're back under the tunnels. We see our buddy Harpoon and Sabretooth. They're hunting again.
Joined by.
Yeah, but they're hunting this lady who. Does she have a name here? Plague?
Yeah. I can't
It is
remember what
Plague.
it is. Plague.
She
Yes,
says
Plague.
name is Plague. So she touches Sabretooth and he automatically gets really sick. He's got like the COVIDs and he falls over and Harpoon's about to kill Plague. And then who pops up, Michael?
None other than Apocalypse.
Yeah.
And I completely forgot he was in this issue. It looks kind of weird, but anyway.
Well, because he's recruiting his 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Right.
Hell yeah.
He recruits Plague, this old lady who can make people sick.
So that means that Louise Simonson was planning this for like 14 issues. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
It's almost like she's a good writer.
Exactly.
That's
That's right.
But again, look at Apocalypse. This first mutant, he's been around for eons, all these generations, super powerful. He has a big A on the top of his underpants. Just so he knows, yep,
Good
these are
branding.
my metallic underpants because they got the A on them.
It
These
should
are
at
mine.
least be an Egyptian hieroglyph or something, right?
Yeah, something.
The alpha, and you know.
Big old A for Apocalypse, right on my pants. All right, so he teleports away with Plague, and I think she is the first one he recruited, right? Because then I think
Right. I think so. Thor is in the next issue. I know
and
that.
Famine is after that,
Mm.
and
Yep.
then he brings an Angel.
Yeah.
All right. So does it say ages later?
Yeah, isn't that a weird transition?
Yeah, what the fuck?
They all fell
I don't
asleep.
know.
Ages later.
Well, I guess they have to explain how could they be there so quickly, right? But if it is ages, then how long have Cyclops and Beast and Iceman been walking around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably put in by the editor.
Yeah, you could have just put in the later.
Yeah,
Leave the ages
exactly.
out. It'd have been fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jean Grey and Angel, they go down and they find Cyclops, Iceman, and Beast engaging with the Marauders again. And Cyclops shoots Arclight.
Yep.
Scrambler is running in to touch Cyclops, but Beast intercepts him and gives him the old two-footed kick in the face again, Michael.
That's right. The Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the collision knocks them both unconscious. And so that leaves us with Prism.
Not a very good move if that's what's going to happen.
True.
He's just an
I
old
can't
man.
kick you, but I'll die. Yeah.
Well, Beast didn't know who Scrambler was or what he was going to do, but I guess his power short-circuited his power. And plus, remember, Beast still has that rip in his side from Harpoon, so he's injured. So Prism, who's the guy you like in the Guardians of the Galaxy, Michael?
Yeah, Martin X. Kind of looks like Martin X.
Yeah, he's exactly like Martin X.
And this is Prism's big moment to shine.
Yes.
Right?
So Cyclops shoots him with an optic blast, and Prism's power is he can absorb energy and like reflect it. So he's the perfect guy to fight Cyclops.
Yeah.
So he just returns the energy on Cyclops and knocks him out. But then what happens, Michael?
Well, then he introduced himself. Did I introduce myself? I'm Prism, and you know what a prism does, and I do so much more. Zwap! And then he reflects all the light back. But then, just then, Jean Grey and Angel come in, and Jean Grey's like, Angel, there they, Cyclops, no! Prism, get away from them! And then he or she kills him. She smashes him to the wall, and he breaks into a million pieces, right?
And he's dead.
Yeah, I know, that was it. Yep. And then, I didn't notice this. We see against the wall. Is that like blood, like all splattered on the wall? That's kind of gross.
I don't think,
but I don't know what that is.
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I think it's just the energy of her. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
It might be. I don't know. But then look at this. Look at that
energy.
Yeah. Too bad Prism was so brittle, eh, Scrambler?
Yeah. So keep in mind, at this point in his history, Prism has appeared on 4 comic book panels.
Yeah.
And he's dead. I guess 5 panels, and he's 6 panels, maybe tops, and he's dead.
Right.
I'm sure they spent a lot of time on his backstory.
But as Jank mentioned, Sinister clones all these Marauders, so they die multiple times, and he just keeps bringing them back. So Prism comes back, but I think every time he comes back, he dies quickly, though, doesn't he?
I think so.
I lost track.
I remember having any big moments.
It's almost like a running gag. I think some cops shoot him the next time he dies.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that's so good.
He's kind of like Kenny from South Park. You know, there's every episode. Oh my God, you killed Prism.
Oh, I hope that's true. That's
so
great.
So Arclight does her patented punch the tunnel to cause a collapse, so they can escape again. Man, these Marauders.
Like all of these sewers must be blocked off by now.
Yeah, you're right. She's keeps smashing the ceiling.
We get a nice shot of Jean Grey from behind. Hey,
that's
now.
Right.
Yeah.
And then once again, they let them go for the 3rd time, right?
Yep.
We must follow them. Get real, Jean. So basically, just like, now let them go. We got to tend to our wounded, right?
Yeah. All of our team is dying here.
Yep. So basically, Beast and Cyclops are down for the count. And so Angel's like, okay, Jean, you take care of these guys, right? I'm going to go.
Yeah,
and
she's
what's going on.
telepathically carrying Beast and Cyclops back to the infirmary.
Telekinetic.
Yeah, and then what's his name? Iceman. He's kind of blinded and like dizzy still from Vertigo, I guess. Is that what they're saying? Or
and Prism's energy, I think, blinded him.
Okay.
He did his zwap.
So Angel tells him to seal off the tunnel with ice.
Right.
Keep that in mind for later.
Yeah. He's going in alone. The guy who just has feathery wings, he'll be the one to save the day.
He also has good eyesight, like a bird. But anyway.
Yeah.
Good thing there's no light down here. Anyway, okay, so then he's walking and he comes across Artie. And Artie points out that a bunch of marauders are, again, this massive sewer system. They're like down this other hallway or whatever it is. And he's like, okay, I'm going to fight these guys. So he does all he can. He punches, what's her name, in the face.
Well, first of all, he tells Artie, he says, hey, Artie, I need you to run down the tunnel back to the complex, carry a message.
Which he can't do because it's blocked.
Yes, Iceman just blocked the tunnel.
Right.
So, but he tells Artie, goes, tell her that what I did, she's right. It's what we're here for. She'll understand.
I had to read that like 4 times before I understood. I was like, what is he even talking about anymore?
Because they had a conversation before about they have to do what they do because they're good guys and they have to sacrifice and do that kind of thing. So I guess he's saying he knows he's going to sacrifice his life here, but he's going to do it because that's what he has to do, which is a noble gesture, tremendous, except you're still sending Artie to his doom because there's a big ice wall 15 feet behind you.
Right.
But he didn't say ice it up except for a tiny like doggy door that a child could through. Maybe he should have.
And so the Marauders he meets are Vertigo, Blockbuster, and Harpoon. Again, Harpoon all over this issue, the MVP of the issue.
This is the best part of the issue where he sees Vertigo and he's like, "Oh, I know you. We fought before, so I know your secret weakness." And he just punches her in the face.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think you needed experience to realize that punching a 95-pound woman in the face would probably hurt.
Your weakness is a right hand. Bang.
Fuck. Yeah. And also I got to point out these guys are talking tough here. I love how what's his name is like, lovely day for a funeral, isn't it, Flyboy? And then a couple panels later, you're gonna die slow. This is like good. I like this stuff.
Yeah, that's Blockbuster. And again, he's this really large, bald guy with like spiky armbands.
Right.
It's like he blew his allowance at Hot Topic. I don't know.
True.
Do you have Hot Topic in Canada, Michael?
No.
It's like a store. It's a store at the mall where they sell like all kind of weird jewelry and like leather pants and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the emo store.
Yeah. So Blockbuster grabs him by the wings and starts like crunching up his wings.
Oh, it's so gross.
Yeah, he's like tearing out feathers and stuff.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And
then he throws him up against the wall, and Harpoon just pins him his wing to the wall with a harpoon.
Right. Ugh.
And then he pins his other wing to the wall.
Again.
Yep. And then we hear Angel's thought bubble. No, what a jerk. What a fool. Artie can't talk. Can't tell her anything. He just realized this.
He still didn't realize about the big ice wall, though.
Right. Oh, and then plus the ice, as he's dying. And then he's like, guess it's just as well. And then, so he's pinned up, and then, the Marauders are like, you're a loser, Flyboy, pinned by the only thing that made you anything special. You're a stuffed shirt, a scarecrow, strung up to warn off any other loser who tries to cross us. And then, what's his name? Scalp Hunter's like,
it's Harpoon.
Or Harpoon. Harpoon is, and the warning will be as effective, more effective when you are dead. Kill him now. The end. Awesome.
That's a good picture, though.
That's the end for
the
him.
wall. Now, do you know how he gets saved?
Is it Thor?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Thor comes in, and Thor kills Blockbuster. He hits him with his Mjolnir.
Okay.
Which is code for his wang. And he kills him. One shot of his wang kills him.
Well, Blockbuster breaks his arm too, doesn't he?
Yeah, which I thought was weird. I didn't know Thor could have broken bones.
I think I was flipping through that issue, and I guess at the end, like Hela pops up, and she's like, "I did something to you, so now your bones won't heal." Ha ha ha.
Oh.
Maybe I'll change it back someday if I feel like it.
Yeah, because then I think in the next issue it might be, or one of them, Cyclops, and they come back down to the tunnel again, and they find Warren, and they go to take him back, and they see Thor, and they're like, "You have a broken arm. Let's fix that." So Cyclops makes him a splint, and he says, "Jean, tear a piece off of Thor's cape, and we'll make him a sling." And I'm like, is that really something Jean can do? Just tear Thor's cape? I think it would be stronger than Jean Grey. No,
I don't know.
She's a pretty powerful telekinetic. She can fling prism at the wall. I guess she can.
That's true. I was thinking she had to do it by hand. I guess she could use her brain to rip it. Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it was just her by hand.
Yeah, I just had images of her struggling trying to tear the cape.
You're just like, Jean, this involves cloth. You have to do it.
And then Thor cleaned up the tunnels of all the dead bodies. He brought like an inferno down into the tunnel to like incinerate all the dead bodies.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I read that, but I forgot.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Let's hope they were all dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
sorry, Leech and Caliban still hiding in that little.
Yeah.
My bad, fellas.
You know these guys who were pretending to be dead so that they wouldn't kill you? Yeah, no.
Already still tapping on that ice wall. Let me in. Boom. All right. So there it is. X Factor 10. And
action packed.
It was a lot of fights. I like that. As we mentioned, it was written by Louise Simonson. Mm-hmm. And I got some notes on Louise Simonson. She was born Mary Louise Alexander in Atlanta, Georgia, 1964. And while attending Georgia Tech, she met and married artist Jeff Jones. And they married in 1966. Okay. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Because she was originally known as Louise Jones.
Right.
But, yeah. So she divorced him in the early 70s. They had a daughter. She continued to go by the name Louise Jones for several years. But she met Walt Simonson then in 1973. They started dating in 74, and they got married in 1980.
Really?
But even after their marriage, she was still using Louise Jones for a while.
In fact, if you read X Factor number 6, she's still Louise Jones. She changed it for X Factor 7. Isn't that funny?
Yeah. So she started as an assistant editor at Warren Publishing in 1974, and she worked her way up on titles like Vampirella and Creepy, and she became a senior editor before eventually leaving to join Marvel in January of 1980. She was the X-Men editor from issues 137 to 182, and she also edited The New Mutants when it started in 1983 for a little bit. But that same year, she gave up her editorial duties to try her hand as a full-time writer, and she created Power Pack. And she wrote...
Very cool.
Greatest achievement.
She wrote 37 of the first 41 issues. And for those who don't know Power Pack, what is Power Pack, Michael?
It is a family of superhero kids. 4 kids, all with superpowers, and their parents don't know that they have these powers. So it's basically like an 80s sitcom, but a comic book, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Pretty good.
I've never read much of it.
It's actually really good. It is. It's fun stuff, and it's got great art by June Brigman.
Oh, June Brigman? Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because doesn't John Bogdanove or whatever do a
Bogdanove or Bogdanove? I don't know. Yeah, he comes later on. Yeah.
Okay.
But June Brigman co-created the characters, I think.
All right. So Bob Layton was having trouble meeting X Factor deadlines. So Louise Simonson, who they call Wheezy, by the way.
Yeah.
Wheezy, she was asked to fill in for Layton, but then Layton rallied and he met the deadline. So the script that Louise Simonson wrote was never used. But when she wrote the script, she really liked the characters and she felt a connection to them. So she came up with a bunch of ideas. And I think the editor at the time was Bob Harris.
Mm-hmm.
And she gave the list of ideas to Bob and said, hey, let's see if Bob Layton wants to use any of these ideas. But then Bob Layton just gave up the book for whatever reason. Was this when he was doing Iron Man 2, Michael? Or?
Probably. I'm not sure. But yeah, around that same time.
So he just decided to give up the book. So then Chris Claremont and Ann Nesenti, our beloved Ann Nesenti, said, just let Louise do it, and so Louise took over the book, and she wrote issues 6 through 64.
Awesome.
Quite the run from
Yep.
86 to 91. And that's how you get a good book, by having one writer for that long, you know.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Then she also wrote 41 issues of the New Mutants between issues 55 and 97, and that was from 87 to 91. Then in 1991, Michael, she joined the Evil Empire and she went to DC.
That's right. Did Superman.
Superman, the Man of Steel.
That's right.
She launched that series, and she wrote the first 56 issues.
Yep, read them all.
And then I think she did 82 of the first 86, and that was from 91 to 98. And she also had a hand in, she was part of the creative team that came up with the Death of Superman storyline, and the when Superman married Lois Lane. She also had a hand in that, I guess.
That's right.
And then she went back to Marvel. I think she did like a Galactus limited series and a Warlock series.
Mm.
And she also wrote like 11 novels for kids.
Oh.
A lot of them were based on like the DC characters. I think there's like Batman novel and Superman novel and stuff.
Well, you know, I know she came back and did a Superman like online comic book, and I actually read it just because I'm a fan of her work, and it was actually really good. So she's still a good writer.
So there you go. That's Wheezy.
Wait, I also got to point out, not that I want to judge women by their looks, but back in the day, she was pretty cute. If you ever get a chance to see, do you guys remember the first appearance of the Swamp Thing? Probably not, but the cover of House of Secrets '92.
Yep.
That's actually Louise Simonson on the cover.
Yeah, they used her as a model for
That's right.
See this.
And she was also, I think Sienkiewicz also put her in a slumber party or something on a New Mutants issue.
Really?
And yeah, I remember. So there you go. That's a Wheezy. So what'd you think? I'm sorry. What'd you think of the writing here, Jank?
It was pretty good. Little soap opera at points.
Yes,
but I liked
very
it.
soap opera at times.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. That's kind of what comics were in the 80s, and I appreciated it. That's what I appreciate about it.
That's what I appreciate about you. Mike L doesn't watch Letterkenny, so he doesn't get that reference. He's Canadian. He doesn't watch Letterkenny because he's 10-ply, Jank. He is 10-ply.
Sort yourself out.
Yeah. Come on, Mike. He's just laughing along like he knows what we're talking about.
I'm just like,
come on, Mike.
I'm politely laughing, yeah. Courtesy laughing.
But yeah, I like the writing here. Again, you had the villains running, and I guess that's their style, these Marauders.
Mm-hmm.
They run and run away. They hit and run away. Got a little repetitive, but...
well, it's hard. You don't have a clear goal other than just killing, so, I mean, it's hard to really, I guess, have much of a story with them. You gotta just
have done, like, instead of having 3 separate fights that lasted 5 seconds, maybe 2 fights that last 15 seconds. I don't know.
Right.
That's fair.
Either way.
Yeah, you know, I grew up on Louise Simonson, you know, on X Factor, New Mutants, and so I'm so used to her writing style. But when you go back and read it, you realize how much exposition there is, eh? And like when you see the way the characters talk to each other, they're explaining so much. But I don't mind it though; I'm used to it.
Yeah, that's what comics were in the 80s. Like now they try to, you can finish a whole comic in like 2 minutes, but back in the day, to explain things a lot more and set things up for later.
Right.
Yeah. And a lot of the exposition seems to be in the thought bubbles, right? They're always thinking about things.
Right.
What happened before and why they got to do this. But it's fine, though. I thought it was okay. Not spectacular, but solid. Yeah, I like that she's planning ahead. She's planting those seeds for the 4 Horsemen.
Right. See, and that's the one thing that, you can criticize comics for the old comics for the dialogue, but the plotting, especially here, is so good. Like, this is one of my favorite storylines, this whole Angel thing about the way that he becomes Archangel. It's just so well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how his life's falling apart.
Pretty cool. Like the whole Cameron Hodge thing and Candy Southern. Her death is pretty cool.
Right.
Oh, I don't even remember if she died. How did she die?
Yeah. Once they realized Cameron Hodge was a bad guy, like he kidnapped Candy Southern and like he ended up killing her, and then Archangel kind of flips the fuck out and takes his head off with his wings.
Oh, right.
Bam, decapitation.
That sounds familiar. But yeah, I like how they have Angel's life falling apart, and then at the end he's just basically giving up. He's like, "Ah, fuck it, who cares?"
Yeah. It is a nice sacrifice, though. I mean, it's really all he can do because he doesn't have useful powers, but at least he's trying his best.
And of course, I think it's the next issue where you find out they had to amputate his wings.
Oh, or it's coming up soon, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he tries to kill himself after that,
right.
but Apocalypse rescues him. Although everyone else thinks he killed himself, but Apocalypse like swiped him out of there with his little teleportation stuff, and then he turns him into death. The Four Horsemen. So.
Like, would that have not made a great X-Men movie, right?
Yes.
But of course, did you guys see X-Men Apocalypse?
No.
It was a piece of shit.
I did. It was terrible.
Yeah, it was so disappointing. Oh, God. Anyway.
Yeah, they've never been able to successfully do that, or really anything in the X-Men movies.
Yikes.
I went back to see, when he lost his wings, and it brought a question to mind, though. What do you think they did with the extra wing bits? Like, what do you think they did with the wings?
Ooh, I don't know. Good question. Maybe pillows?
Yeah, probably science experiments.
Yeah, it's weird. Extra wings.
Try to regrow them in like a lab.
All right, so the artist here is Walt Simonson, Louise's husband. He was born in Knoxville, Tennessee, in 1946. He graduated from Amherst College with a degree in geology. But he loved Marvel Comics, particularly Thor. So after graduating from Amherst, he decided to go to art school at Rhode Island School of Design and graduated from there in 1972. And his thesis was a 50-page black and white comic called The Star Slammers.
Oh, right. Which he turned into a graphic novel later, I think, right?
Throughout his career, he's gone back to The Star Slammers a couple times.
Cool.
And, yeah. His first work was on DC's Weird World Tales issue 10 in 1973. In 1977, he did the Rampaging Hulk series for Marvel's Curtis magazine, which was the black and white magazine stuff. Then he had his first run on Thor in 1978 when he was a penciler for Len Wein was writing the stories then, and he did issues 260 to 271. Then in 1982, this may have been the first. Well, no, because I noticed them with X Factor, but the other stuff, because I started buying comics around 85, 86 regularly, But then I went back in 1982. He did X-Men and the New Teen Titans.
Right.
And I loved his artwork in that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He returned. He returned to Thor as the writer, and he was the writer from issues 337 to 382, and he also drew like 30 of those issues.
Right.
And that spanned from 83 to 87, and that's probably the most famous Thor run ever. Maybe, I don't know. We turned into a frog.
Yeah.
Beta Ray Bill gets the hammer.
Yeah.
All kind of stuff goes on there.
That's some good shit.
All told, he did 24 issues of X Factor between issues 10 and 39. And that was from 86 to 89. Then he took over the Fantastic Four in 1989. And he wrote all but 2 issues from issues 334 to 354. And he also drew 13 of those issues. And that run ended in 1991. And then he's done a bunch of other stuff, but those are basically the big ones. Anything else, Michael, that you remember from Walt Simonson?
I'm trying to think if he did anything significant after that. Like, he kind of, he did like little short runs, but nothing big for some reason. I don't know. I've always been a fan.
Recently, he was doing some comic called Ragnarok, so he must really liked like the Norse mythology stuff.
Right? Yeah, he did. When he was a kid, he loved that stuff, and he's a big fan of Thor. So that's pretty cool that his whole life he's tied to Thor now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always liked his art because it's very angular and like sharp lines, and he has a distinctive style. You see something that he drew, you knew he drew it. It's like, oh yeah, that's Walt Simonson.
And like we said, this is a little bit rushed, but when he's good, he's so good. Like, his stuff on Thor is awesome. Like, he's just born to do that type of art, like, it's big and blocky like Kirby, but he's got nice nuance to it. Like the way he draws texture and the feathers and whatever, the clothes, the capes. It's just great.
Yeah, I could see him doing like very good job with like frost giants and that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Normal people like this, maybe not as much, but
Right.
that
Right.
kind of mystical stuff for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Remember, I did that issue for the written version of Flea Market Fantasy, where he drew Stiltman. Thor was fighting Stiltman.
That's right.
The one character everyone wants to draw.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of Simonson, so yeah, I like the art here. No complaints.
He drew a lot of harpooning people, so
Yeah,
in my book.
Harpoon. Anything else about this issue that needs mentioned?
Only that I encourage anyone listening to continue reading X Factor till at least the end of the Walt Simonson run. It's a good series.
Yeah, I remember it kind of dipped a little in like the number 40 to 50 range, where they had the whole Celestial thing for a while.
Yeah. Basically, you're right. After Inferno, right? It kind of went down.
Yeah, yeah. It was a little weird, and like this isn't like Victor's wheelhouse right here.
Right.
So, Michael, 1 out of 10.
Whew. That's tough. It's probably 7, but for historical significance, I'll give it an 8.
I agree with you. Like, I think the writing is like a 7, the art probably an 8. So I'm going to go 8 overall because of the significance of Angel getting harpooned and the Marauders, and everything else. Jank?
I agree. 8 is where I was going to end up as well. It's so good, and I really do like the way that they kind of did this with Angel, because it's like it makes sense. He's like one of the few characters who has a part of his body basically that his mutant powers stem from. You can't do that with like Beast. Like, what are you just gonna stab him through his big feet? Work as well.
Yeah.
But Angel
he gets athlete's foot.
Yeah. Angel, like, you can literally take it away from him in such a tangible way.
Yeah, and they made him much cooler. Like Archangel was so cool.
Yeah. Those wings were so much more useful.
Yeah, seriously.
Of course, they got rid of them later. I don't know if you remember that.
What?
And then they brought him.
He turned back into Angel.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
90s.
They basically found out that he had a healing factor, and he just turned back into the regular Angel.
I just want to shake these comic book creators. Just shake them.
Shake them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Sabretooth, I think it was Sabretooth who ended up like shredding his metal wings, and then all of a sudden he molted and grew his original rings back.
Right. Yeah.
Sabretooth's claws are strong enough to rip his metal wings that are designed by Apocalypse.
Yeah, apparently.
That's silliness.
It takes a harpoon to do that.
I am irate. I can see Wolverine cutting them, but Sabretooth? Come on.
Yeah.
That's all right. So there it is, X Factor 10. Well, Jank, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. It was
thanks
a long
for joining us.
No problem. Always a pleasure, you guys. I love the show.
Awesome. Well,
you're the one. Yeah,
you're the one. Our one fan. All right. Well, if you love this show, you're gonna love next week, Jank. As you know, it is the holiday season, and I love Christmas comic books. And I like to offer this time to Mike Dell to guess next week's pick using your
it's a comic book. It's a Christmas theme. So, is it X-Men?
Not even close.
All right.
Very power pack Christmas.
I wish. I'm going to change my choice. No, I'm not.
It's not Christmas with the Superheroes #2, is it?
It's Christmas with the Superheroes #1 because we already did #2.
No, we did #1.
We did #2.
Isn't the cover of #1 them in the
toy
shop?
No, that's #2. #2 is all reprints. #1 is all #2 is all new stuff. #1 is all reprints. I switched the order. So that was #2. Now we're gonna do #1.
What's the one with the cover there?
Garbage.
They're in front of the Christmas tree, and there's that one guy who I had no idea who he was. You had to explain.
That's #2.
But we didn't do that one.
Yeah.
No, we did the one on the cover with them in the toy shop on the cover.
No, sorry. The one we did with Superman stopping the guy. Remember the guy who's
prostitute Superman.
That's number 2. That's number 2. Now we're gonna do number 1, where they're hold on a second, let me see the cover here. Yeah, they're in front of the Christmas tree. Superman is looking into the present, and it says lead on it, and he can't see in. And there's the stockings hung by the fire. That's number 1.
Well, I think because there's so much confusion, we have to pick something else.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm positive we didn't do this one, so.
Good Lord.
Unless Jank would like to Google it, but no, we did not do this one. Trust me, I've been planning
them
this
all
for a year.
Like having a dinner together. It looks like Christmas dinner.
Yep. Good fun.
Good fun.
Black Canary, Green Arrow, Batman, Superman, Robin, and Wonder Girl in her old costume.
All of your favorites.
So, this is like an anthology of reprinted stories?
You got it. More bang for your buck.
Yeah, see, this is what he does, Jank. He picks these anthologies, like 6 shitty stories instead of 1 shitty story. So
We made 6 awesome stories, like the best one we ever did, featuring Dr. Midnight. Anyway.
That one did sound pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
Don't imagine any of these will reach that height.
Yeah, I don't think anything can. But anyway.
Are there any good creators in this?
Well, obviously, it goes without saying, but I'm not going to say who they are. You have to read the comic. But yeah, it's all, in my opinion, they're all good creators.
All right, I'm looking at the cover again. All right, so yeah, this is the cover I had in my head that I thought was number 2. So who's that guy? I have no idea who he is behind everybody.
Oh, you mean that? Oh, on the right, that's Wildfire from the Legion of Superheroes.
Oh, Wildfire.
Yeah.
Who canceled? How did they let him on this cover?
That is a good question. He doesn't really fit with these guys, and he's not even the most popular member of the Legion, so I don't know why he's there.
Oh, hey, Mike L, right out of the gate. Of course, the cover's John Byrne. You can tell by looking at it.
Yeah.
But the Wanted Santa Claus, Dead or Alive, the artist, Frank Miller.
Yep.
Ooh.
Told you. This is early Frank Miller Batman.
And Ben Oda on the lettering.
That's right. Al Marcato like this one.
I'm not seeing too many other artists.
Like swastikas on her boobs.
Kurt Swan.
Yeah, the best. Dick Giordano, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. Come on. Neil Adams.
Making these
Nick
names up.
Cardy. What's that?
Yeah, so Nick Adams is. Oh yeah, he does the. Neil Adams does the Silent Night of the Batman, inked by Dick. So all right, I'll sit in on this crap.
You'll sit in on this one.
It's in your contract. You have to.
Yep.
Good Lord.
All right. So that wraps up another glorious episode of Flea Market Fantasy. We once again want to thank Kevin Jank for joining us. Kevin, you're welcome back anytime.
And again, you can listen to Jank on. Well, he's a regular on the LCS show these days. He also does the original Janksters on the LCS Hockey Network and Mackey's Clubhouse with our buddy Larry.
Yeah, 2 episodes a week talking about the Shield.
Yeah, talking about the Michael Chiklis Shield, not the Marvel Agents of
not Agents of Shield.
All right.
Although Agent Coulson was on an episode or 2 of the Shield. So.
Oh. Yeah. And then, Mike L, this is also breaking news. Jank is going to start a podcast about Gary Coleman movies.
Come on!
It's going to be awesome.
I'm doing Emmanuel Lewis movies, actually.
All right.
They're much more better.
All right. So,
that's funny. Anyway, you can hear more episodes from us on Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all under Comic Book Syndicate. Also, you can find us on the Comic Book Syndicate Twitter feed, Facebook, the Comic Book Syndicate website. I think that's about everything. So until next Tuesday, disperse!